Welcome to Tips and Tricks. Hi kids. See, today I just want to tell you one thing. There is a difference between troubling yourself and challenging yourself. Troubling yourself is a negative attitude. Challenging yourself is a positive attitude. Oh my god, if I get 70% in maths and 75 in physics, what will others think? That is troubling yourself. I can get it. I have the capability to get 90%. This is challenging yourself. So don't trouble yourself unnecessarily and challenge yourself. And how to challenge yourself? Own the subject. Start liking the subject. Automatically marks will flow. So that is how. Don't never trouble yourself. Always challenge yourself. Okay. So let's talk about the basics of chemistry today. Atom. Okay, atom is the defined particle of an element. What is an atom? It is the defined defined particle of an element. Okay, see, atom, it is just like cell in our body. Atom has been divided into protons. They carry positive charge. Protons, P, positive. You remember like that. Once you remember protons carry positive charge, what is the other charge? Negatives. Electrons carry negative charge. See, you remember P, positive. Protons carry positive charge. Electrons carry negative charge. And neutrons, they are neutral. Neutrons, they do not carry any charge. Neutrons are neutral. They have no charge. So normally, so P for positive and neutrons anyway neutral. The word itself tells. And what is left out? Electrons. They carry negative charge. Understood? Protons carry positive charge. Electrons carry negative charge. Neutrons, no charge. So, normally in atoms, the number of protons and number of electrons are always equal in an atom. See, in an atom, number of protons and number of electrons are always equal. So they do not carry any charge. Why atoms carry no charge? Because number of protons and number of electrons are always equal. See, for example, we'll take sodium, Na. Sodium has got protons, 11 protons, so positive charge. Electrons, 11 electrons. So, the plus minus, it gets nullified and there is net charge is nil. Net charge is nil. So, in an atom, the number of protons and the number of electrons are always equal. So, atoms do not carry any charge. See, let's take protons are at the center. Protons and neutrons are at the center. It is known as a nucleus. So electrons will be revolving around the nucleus. Electrons are very light in weight. They will be revolving around the nucleus. So normally when we consider atomic weight, we will take only the weight of protons and neutrons. So atomic weight is at the center. Why we don't take the weight of electrons? Because they're highly negligible when compared to weight of the proton. So normally atomic weight is considered with the number of protons and with the number of neutrons. This is called as nucleus. And where electrons are revolving, it is known as extranuclear part. What is it known as? Extranuclear part. Understood? So now let's consider see, we know very well atoms, they do not carry any charge. See, sometimes what happens, we'll consider the bond of NaCl. See, normally in an orbit, before that I'll tell you one thing. See, electrons will be revolving around the nucleus in a specific orbit. So, we will be calculating how many electrons are there in each orbit. There is a formula for that, 2n square. N stands for the orbit. Suppose in the first orbit, we have to calculate how many electrons are there. N is equal 1. 2 into 1 square. So 2 electrons are there in the first orbit. And the second orbit, n square, n stands for 2. 2 into 2 square. So 4 2s are 8 electrons in the second orbit. And third orbit, 2n square. 2 into 2 cube. 2 to 8. 2 into 2, 2 into 2. So 8 2s are 16 electrons. This is how we calculate. And you know, suppose sodium is there. Sodium Na and chlorine Cl. Sodium electronic configuration is 281. That means in the first orbit 2 electrons, in the second orbit 8 electrons. Once the octet is completed, it will jump into the next orbit. So 1 electron in the last orbit. And chlorine has, these are atoms, sodium atom and chlorine atom, 287. That means in the first orbit 2 electrons, and the second orbit 8 electrons, and the third orbit 7 electrons. So the total is 11 electrons. Here 17 electrons. So normally when number of electrons in each orbit, see if it is 1 2 3, it is easy. Suppose in the first orbit 1 electron is there. In the last orbit, sorry. If it is easy for sodium to donate 1 electron to chlorine than accept 7 electrons to complete the octet. That is 8 electrons. Similarly, in the last orbit 2 electrons are there. It is easy to donate 2 electrons than to accept 6 electrons. Similarly, in 3, it is easy to donate 3 electrons than to accept 5 electrons to complete the octet. See, this is 5, 6, 4 is the carbon valency. We'll talk about this later. 5, 6, 7 is there. It is easy to accept 3 electrons than to donate 5 electrons. So when 6 electrons in the last orbit, it is easy to accept 2 electrons than to donate 6 electrons. Similarly, when it is 7, it is easy to accept 1 electron than to donate 7 electrons. So sodium, what it does, it will donate 1 electron to chlorine. Chlorine will accept 1 electron. So then once it donates 1 electron, sodium, protons are 11, positive charge, but electrons will remain. This will become 2, 8. So electrons will be only 10. So the net charge will be positive. That is how sodium Na plus. This is iron. See, once atoms do not have any charge because number of protons are equal to number of electrons in an atom. But once the sodium atom donates 1 electron to chlorine, it becomes an ion. So, because it carries a charge now, positive charge. Whereas chlorine, what happens? Chlorine has got 17 protons and 17 electrons. So 1 electron it will accept from the sodium. So it becomes 288. Thereby, what happens here? 17 protons and 18 electrons. So 18 electrons it will become. So sodium will, the net charge is negative. Sodium will develop negative charge. This is how NaCl is formed. Na plus Cl minus. What is NaCl? The table salt which we use every day in our cooking. This is known as ionic bond. Okay, in our next class, let's learn more about atoms and bonds, covalent bond, ionic bond. Okay.